Good morning, everyone. There has been a lot of debate in recent times concerning a new tourism development that will be located along the Sepik River in Papua New Guinea. Today, we will be discussing the plans for this proposed cultural tour. The tour's primary purpose is to create an experience that allows people to encounter and interact with the traditional culture of this area. The tour includes a number of cultural experiences such as participation in traditional ceremonies, as well as visiting markets and temples. Additionally, the tour allows for an intimate experience with the wildlife, whether that be through spotlighting or fishing in the river. The tour's duration is for 5 days and allows participants to fully engage with their surroundings as new luxury villas will be constructed along the Sepik River. The tour company proposing this idea is the prestigious Hidden Nagini, an international tour company. It is apparent that this tourism development will have both positive and negative impacts. Today we are very fortunate to have Alex, a representative from the village that's not on the proposed tour, and Miss Ma, a representative from the village council who is on the tour. They will be providing us with their opinions on the proposed development. To get the ball rolling, I'm going to call upon Miss Ma. You're for this development. Can you give us a few reasons as to why?
Hello, I'm Xuemeng. Today I'm delegated to represent Village Council and to explain why we support for the development of this cultural tour. When we are concerning cultural tourism in Papua New Guinea, we always mention some words directed towards preservation, conservation, and sustainability of indigenous culture. However, we also need to make more effort with development, promotion, and adaptation of our indigenous culture in response to human needs based on current situations and changing time. The society needs development. Papua New Guinea's cultural tourism resources are numerous and diverse in terms of people, language, traditions, customs, songs, dance, music, and traditional attire, design pattern. According to Papua New Guinea Tourism Promotion Authority website, we have more than 800 cultures and language groups in 2009. Asian Development Bank also comments tourism in Papua New Guinea has the potential of profitable ventures. However, tourism sector only contributes 0.7% directly into nation's GDP in 2014. We should find some ways of representing one of the finest institutions that can provide a valuable and intriguing experience to our locals and international visitors. In order to prevent a waste of such valuable cultural resources, the designed cultural tour provide different forms of expressions of our culture, such as visiting temples, viewing our villages making traditional artifacts, and using our traditional methods to live. It gives opportunities for our villagers to show their life and their culture. And more importantly, it builds community pride and make more contribution to the economy. Both the Conference of the Assembly of European Regions and the U.S. Tourism Heritage Summit have reported the economic benefits of cultural tourism. Heritage tourists have longer trips and spend more money. Heritage tourism can create new jobs and new markets for locals. To give an example, to stage performances in our traditional ceremonies requires goods and services, such as refreshments for visitors, and sound systems and lights for the stage from other organizations within the economy. These add to the nation's GDP and increase employment and income for those employed. So we will strongly support the company to develop this cultural tour.
Thank you for your insights. Now, Alex, you're opposing this tour. Can you give us a few reasons as to why?
Yeah, sure am. So, hey, how's it going, guys? My name's Alex. I'm a villager from one of the villages not on the proposed itinerary, so obviously I have a fair few problems with this. First of all, you mentioned the cultural traditions, such as the song and the dance and things like that. If we're putting on performances for these tourists that are coming through, and they're only kind of day tourists and things like that, they're not going to respect our traditions and our cultures. They won't understand them. This is trivializing our very culture itself. So these things that we do, they become completely insignificant. They honor the land that we're on, they honor our ancestors, they've been around for generations and generations. And this is completely just being a detriment to all of our cultural traditions. Secondly, the actual tour itself has a huge ecological impact. Papua New Guinea is home to all sorts of mammals such as tree kangaroos and echidnas and over 800 different species of birds such as our famous bird's paradise, and also is home to a wide range of native flora such as our orchids. We have over 3,000 species, which is over 2/3 of the world's entire species of orchids just in our country. If you start bringing tourists through areas that weren't urbanized already, then you're wiping out flora and fauna that may not have been discovered before and endangering the ones that already are there and have been discovered. This can't be allowed to happen. Finally, we have the inbuilt, purpose-built houses in the villages themselves. Tourists of today expect water, electricity, all the modern appliances and things that go with it. The villages can't sustain that. They can't afford to have all these things. It'll have way too much of a strain on the villages themselves and the environment around them. Not only that, you've got the cars and the trucks bringing in the tourists, providing huge amounts of pollution, and the tourists themselves will cause huge ecological devastation with their fishing activities and their spotlighting tours, disturbing all the animals around it and taking away some of our natural food sources.
Thank you for that. Now, Alex, Ms. Ma has stated that this will contribute to the economy. What is your response to that?
Yeah, it will contribute to the economy, but it'll only contribute to one side of it. All the villages that are not on the proposed itinerary will have severe ecological consequences. All the ones that are having all the tourist influx, they're going to be living great. They're going to have free trade, they're going to have all the money that they want to do with, with huge economic boost. But all the ones that have been left off the itinerary will eventually start having villagers leave the villages because they can't afford to live there anymore, they can't afford to trade, and they will be going to the more economically prosperous villages. Those villages in turn will be way overcrowded. They've got the original villagers, they've got the villagers coming from other villages, and they've got all the tourists coming in. It's just overcrowded. The villages can't sustain it, the environment can't sustain it. Not only that, you're losing all the cultures and languages and traditions from the other villages that the people are losing. Eventually, they just become nothing. Those are my people that are losing everything. As well as that, you mentioned the GDP. Tourism only contributed 0.700% to the GDP. Yeah, that's nothing. Is it worth sacrificing our environment, our traditions, to really contribute that small amount?
Actually, we are not sacrificing the culture. We just want to maximize the value of our cultural resources.
Okay, thank you for that. Now, Ms. Ma, Alex has said that it will trivialise the culture. What is your response to that?
As a representative of Village Council, I admit it's necessary to preserve cultural worth of Papua New Guinea, whether that is authentic, natural, man-made, or that of past time or present times. But we believe when cultural resources such as performing arts, heritage and festivals become a motive for tourist travel, then the chain of productive activities that resulting to satisfy the need of cultural tourism can make a positive contribution to both New Guinea's economy and cultural preservation. Thank you.
Thank you. Are there any final comments that either of you two would like to make?
Yeah, I'd just like to say, if you support this cultural tour, you're supporting the degradation and collapse of multiple villages of proud people, my people, that have been on this land for around 60,000 years now.
No, we won't. Definitely won't.
Alrighty, well, thank you both for being here today. And before we finish, I'm just going to give a brief summary of both of their arguments. So evidently, Alex has been opposing this development and has stated that only a few cultures will experience an influx in tourism. Therefore, these areas will become a monopoly, which will negatively impact surrounding villages both socially and economically. By creating this tour, it would be trivialising the traditional ceremonies, which, as Alex has stated, will eradicate all important meanings associated with it. Moreover, it was stated that this development will have detrimental effects on the environment, for example, the fishing experience, which will have enduring impacts. The final point Alex has made was the impact that the village would have on the environment through the use of air conditioning, power and water usage and so on. Contrastingly, Ms. Ma's argument focuses on providing opportunities for people to experience an incredible culture that they usually would never have engaged with. Additionally, she has acknowledged that tourism will contribute to the economy of the area in a significant way, as well as creating a considerable amount of employment for the locals. Furthermore, cultural resources are underused, so this will maximise the usage and value of these resources and will build community pride. So thank you very much for listening to our discussion today, and I hope that you take these opinions into consideration.